Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome to RFF Picks. Tonight, I have a correlated Counterstrike bet for you for tomorrow. This is going to be Friday, April 26th. So right now, I'm recording at 11:50 p.m. on Thursday. Just completed watching the NFL draft, was live tweeting, watching with some friends. So, the video is going to be out a little bit later than normal, but good thing I was able to kind of find some plays that are later on through the day, I think around more noon time, Central Time. So, I actually do feel really good about the play that I'm giving on YouTube, just because I haven't really been checking the slips or anything like that and the books and all that kind of stuff. So, I haven't given out a play since like 5 p.m. And so finally tonight, I went out and looked and saw a lot of good lines that I like a lot. So I was able to curate a very good slip that I feel decently confident in. So yeah, I was watching the NFL draft for the past like 3.5 hours. Did take a long time, but it was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like crazy draft. Was wild. There were, I think, 6 quarterbacks that got drafted in the top 12, which is just beyond me. I didn't think Bo Nix or Michael Penix were going to be drafted that high, maybe closer to 20 range. And then McCarthy got drafted as well. And just like, I think it was 22 offensive players. So crazy. I don't know about how many people in this are, crazy about football, but obviously, as you can see at the top of that tweet there, I was tweeting all over the place on RFF underscore football, and I did make a draft bet and gave it on the Winnable earlier today that I really did like, and this ended up cashing. It was kind of like a last second thing that I was randomly looking at. I'm like, hey, I don't have any action on the NFL draft, and so I made a quick bet. Obviously, I say it here, Rome Odunze, I wanted him to go over 8.5. He got drafted at 9, which I actually didn't really think the Bears were going to end up pulling the trigger on Odunze, but they did. And so now they have Keenan Allen, they got DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze. So that's going to be a crazy wide receiving core. But like I said here, I saw him as the third best receiver in the draft. I knew Malik Neighbors was probably going to go to the Giants, and I didn't see the Chargers or the Falcons going for Odunze. So I thought this was a really good bet. I wish I put more on it, honestly, because I was looking at it, and I honestly, if it was like 9.5, I probably would have made the bet, but the Bears ended up picking him. But yeah, we did cash this, and then earlier on Winnable, this is a bet that I gave out maybe 2 months ago. I had a bet that Jaden Daniels was going to go number 2 in the NFL draft. He ended up going number 2 as well. And, that was at the time where Drake May was getting a lot of the stir. And me and my comrade Miles, we were a lot hotter on Jaden Daniels. We thought that Drake May had a little bit more of, he was more of a project. He was kind of erratic with the football. And Jaden Daniels is coming off a Heisman. So, he's the guy, right? And so he went number 2. As I'm talking, I'm like, I don't know if these people are super into football, but I'm just coming off of the draft, and so we're real hype about it. Probably going to make a podcast tomorrow talking about the first round on one of our channels. But yeah, I kind of wanted to go over this. I don't know how much y'all love these plays. I know a lot of people out there on Winnable are giving out like money line bets. They're going to be giving out football and stuff. Obviously, right now we're only doing PrizePicks, so I didn't really know if y'all wanted to see bets like this. But I gave it out on Twitter, gave it out on Winnable, so just wanted to go over that. Here was the play that we were hoping to get today. We were pretty much 4 out of 4 going into this morning, and dude, this funky guy just completely washed this bet. He only had 6 kills in the first 3 maps, which is, for those who watch League of Legends, which I bet a lot of you do, is crazy that he only got 6. Especially because Ainz ended up going 2-1 in the first 3 games. I didn't watch the 4 and 5 just because I was focused on this slip, and I don't really care about German esports. I don't even know if this qualifies under the LEC or something. But the games were super, not even back and forth. It was one team stomped, the other team stomped, and then the other team stomped. And so we weren't really getting a lot of kills out of this. And Ainz got 2 wins, but the AD carry only got 6 kills. So it was crazy. Power of Evil didn't even end up hitting his projected total. I think he was at maybe 10 or 11 going into that 3rd game, and he didn't hit this. So unfortunate, but I always say it. We obviously did have correlation going into this play, right? We had the more on both of these guys, but they both ended up going less. And I'm not 100% sure, but Ainz probably ended up winning this game or winning the series, but these games just weren't going super long. I feel like they ended in like 25 minutes. When we have something like this, we're kind of hoping for like a 30-minute or longer game. So, they're going back and forth, snowballing, and guys are getting kills all over the place. But yeah, we didn't see it here. Funky, not great. Not a great performance by him whatsoever. I was watching it and I'm like, we're not going to hit this. He had 0 kills map 1. So bad. And then this is the play that I gave out last night. Once again, this is just not a good slip at all. Didn't really show correlation on this at all. 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. Even I feel like a lot of these guys that they were hitting their over on their kills, like they barely ended up hitting it. But there's not a lot of talk about this slip. I mean, it was an L, and we take it, we move on, we try to do better. But yeah, wanted to remind you all that Flex Friday is coming up. So if you're watching this video a little bit later on, Friday morning or whatever, just make sure to bet Flex Friday. I forget to do it. I feel like I have all this stuff going on in my mind on Friday. Like, obviously, I have my main job that I work. I'm trying to give plays out to y'all, trying to give plays out to the Winnable. And then I get caught up and just completely forget to get that basically free $20 bet that PrizePicks is giving out. So hopefully I remind myself to do that. If you're watching right now, put a reminder in your phone to make sure to bet that, because that's a free $20. I talk about it in a lot of the videos that I made. Made like $5,000 on PrizePicks, and all that money that I've made are pretty much on those promos. They're on Flex Friday. They're on Taco Tuesday. They're on those Jokic free squares, stuff like that. Those are the bets that I'm really, really profiting off of, because PrizePicks is giving you those. Like, they're giving you these things that what they're doing is they're wanting you to keep gambling on their app, right? But if you are smart with it, you can take advantage and, be careful and smart with every bet that you make on the app, right? So here's our Real Friends community. What this is, all real friends. We started Real Friends in Football 2 years ago. So kind of like what you're seeing on that tweet above, we have a Real Friends in Football Twitter. We just started RFF Picks Twitter as well. So we have a lot going on, a lot all over the place. I know a lot of you are joining our Discord. We really don't keep up with it too much. Usually I just play video games with my friends in it. But I want to be hopefully better one day with it. Like I said, me and Miles don't have a lot of time to, be giving out plays on the Discord or talking about plays in the Discord. But what I would say at a minimum is, like, y'all can use it amongst yourselves. That's a great thing to do. Maybe we'll chime in here and there, but use it amongst, all of you, right? That's kind of what we're doing. We're wanting to start a community together, and we want people to talk about football, fantasy football, gambling, all that kind of good stuff, even NBA, whatever. So so we started that channel 2 years ago. Super Bowl obviously happened this year. Me and Miles were like, hey, let's start this new channel called RFF Picks. This channel's already at like almost 1,300 subscribers now. This is the podcast channel that I was talking about earlier today. So yeah, we might go on there and make a video about like the first round or whatever, talk about that, because it was a crazy first round today in football, and just a ton of like athletes all in that first round. It's a really, really good draft. As you can see below, this is a screenshot of my Action Network. So I'm up 500 units in the past 3 years. Right here was the 2021 NBA playoffs. This is where Kevin Durant's foot was too big. They lost to the Bucks, game 7, whatever it was. So I had a huge bet on that. I think I had like $500 just on that bet alone. Ended up losing it. And rather than kind of blaming Kevin Durant, that was the moment where I said, hey, I'm going to start winning money. Like, screw this. I'm done losing. I'm done going this, right? I win some, I lose some. I did these parlays, whatever. And at that point, I started doing research. I started learning about EV betting. I started learning about correlated betting. Started learning about villain betting. So dodge whatever the public wants to do. Another thing too, I saw one of your comments, hey, this guy isn't doing great in Counterstrike. Why are you betting his over? That's kind of the process. Like, we want to buy low on some of these guys, right? Like, I'm the guy that if freaking X person, Tyler Hero, has a horrible 3 games in basketball, I'm the guy to like bet his over the next game, because like he's gonna come back, right? So that's kind of my thought process. Like, sometimes I am buying low on a lot of these guys that aren't showing up, right? That's just like kind of the process that I've been doing for a very long time. And sure, here and there we're going to lose stuff like that, but that's kind of just what's going through my head a lot of the times, right? So here is our RFF Picks Instagram, I think this is at like 150 followers as well. So go give us a follow on this. Like I said, if you any way you can support our community is super appreciated. So the Instagram is just an easy thing. Go follow us, go like our videos, stuff like that. Like our videos here, comment on the videos, subscribe, everything like that. Just bare minimum stuff just helps us a ton. I feel like a lot of you might not even understand that. Like being a creator as my side gig or my second job, I feel like I know how the algorithm works. And so if at a minimum, if we get you a 25x play or a 2x play, whatever it is, like just go out there and just watch our videos or, like our tweets, whatever it may be. We really appreciate you for that. And I feel like y'all already are doing that, but I feel like I have to talk about it. So here's our winnable. What this is, it's going to be just an easy way to get our picks. Every play that we post on YouTube is going to go onto our free plan. I think we have like 300 people on our free plan on Winnable. So that's crazy to think about because we've only been on the platform for like 2 months. Our MVP plan is going to be every single one of the plays that me or Miles makes. We're posting it on Winnable. So any bet I make individually, whether that be, what we were talking about earlier in the football, anything like that, and then any PrizePicks slip that I make right now, it's just esports. NFL is going to be a really good sport for us, and college football. Me and Miles are actually talking about it. We might do some sort of like sale on our MVP plan to where maybe we're only going to do like $100 a month. I made it in the community post. I feel like the main goal I want more people to sign up for the MVP plan than it be too high, if that makes sense. So we're still kind of thinking about what we're going to do. When we joined Winnable as a creator, they kind of were like, hey, put it at 150, put the weekly at 50, but we might, see what y'all want us to do and try to make it like fair for everybody. Obviously me and Miles are putting a lot of our time and effort. We have, what's the word I'm looking for? Bug on my freaking desk. We invested into a lot of these number counting things, generators or whatever. And, we're looking at how all the lines work and everything, and we're putting a lot of time into it. So, we want to get money back in some way. But at the same time, we don't want it to be like too expensive for y'all. So we're still thinking about it. We might test out doing some sort of like promo. So we'll let y'all know. But yeah, sign up for the code RFF at the checkout for a month free, and you get that completely free, 150 off, and test it out, see how you like it. And like I said, me and Miles are going to talk Saturday, see what we want to do maybe this summer, just because we don't have NFL going on, so we don't have like millions of picks going out, but we do have really, really good esports plays. And I still feel confident that if you're giving us X amount of money, that I can make you that back within the month, right? So even April right now, we're having a very good month of April. We probably made like $2,000 already this month. So that's kind of what I wanted to say for that. So here is going to be obviously the play that you are looking for. We're doing a correlated not esports. Well, yes, esports. Correlated Counterstrike. Sometimes I say esports because I have League of Legends, I have Valorant, but right now this is all Counterstrike. So we have all Moors. We're hitting all Moors on everyone. So what we're hoping for here is a very competitive back and forth game between Alliance, B8, and then Tylo and Sharks, and then 9 Pandas and Passion UA, right? So these are 3 pairs, right? Pair of opponents. And what we're wanting is in Counter-Strike, there is a best of 13. So whichever team hits 13 first wins the map, right? And then for the second map, they do exactly the same thing. So what we're wanting for here is we're wanting these fights to be extended. We want back and forth. We want a 13-10. We want a 13-9. We want overtime. We're going back and forth. Every time I watch these games, you're cheering for the underdog. You don't even care what player you have most of the time. You just want the underdog to stay in the game, because if they're staying in the game, then that means that the other person has more opportunities to get more kills, right? So it's very, I talked about tennis because I'm more of like I feel like I'm more League of Legends. Like I understand how Counter-Strike works, but I feel like I can explain it better talking about tennis. In tennis, imagine it's best of 3 sets, right? So you're going to 5 and you're hoping for 3, right? And imagine that a tennis player and another tennis player are going back and forth, and like Jokic and Nadal, and they are going into this crazy back and forth tennis match. They play 5 sets. It's 5 hours long, and you have the over on their freaking, tennis like hits over the net or something, or aces or whatever, right? I don't know tennis terminology super well, but that's kind of the process, right? Like, we're wanting these like crazy games back and forth, to where if they're playing more time, more games, more on the battlefield, then they are more likely to get more kills, right? So that's kind of how the correlation works and what we do around here. So I feel like a lot of the times you see these pairs either going both under or both more, right? So that's how we come up with these slips. And so that's going to be the correlated slip. I'm going to post that to Winnable right now. I will probably do a podcast tomorrow on the draft. I'll be watching the draft tomorrow. I'll be home. I promised myself not to go out on Friday night, so I'll be home watching this. And best of luck to all of y'all. Let's get the finally 25x win that we're looking for once again. I feel like we've hit a ton of 2x's, like probably 5 in the last 3 days. So hoping for a big 6 out of 6 25x win would be great to have on a Friday. I think the last one we did was on a Friday also that we hit. I think it was like 3 weeks ago or whatever. But best of luck to all of you, and see you tomorrow.